address to Honolulu so that we can mentorship.link.
Hello everyone, my name is Liam, and I am with mentorship.link. Now, the problem we're tackling is education. Now, problem number one, students don't have 21st century skills. Employers are dissatisfied with incoming employees. So, then what's our second problem? Schools are not teaching students to be creative or to solve problems. Now, I have a personal experience with this. I'm in high school myself. In the last 9 years, I've been to 8 different schools, transferring because schools didn't work for me. Until last year, when I dropped out of school altogether. And then what did I do to supplement my education? I did an apprenticeship. And this apprenticeship was, this first one that I did, was very educational to me. I did it because I was interested in politics, so I did one in state government. And I thought, this is really exciting, and the experience was so valuable. And at the end of the 6-month internship, I realized I don't like politics. But that still means the experience was still very valuable, because otherwise I would have gone on to college, major in political science, and then I probably would have found that out that I don't like politics at age 23 instead of at age 15. So that experience was very valuable to me, and with our solution, we want to bring those mentorships, those apprenticeships to all students. That is our solution. So, when we look at our solution, we have an online platform to connect students, high school students, with mentorships in the workplace. So, from a student perspective, they can go on the website, they can find opportunities, they can learn about different things in different fields, and they can also create a portfolio. So once they've had these experiences, maybe they've had an apprenticeship at a newspaper, an apprenticeship at a design studio, and they can put that on their portfolio. And then on the business side, we have pre-qualified applicants that businesses can find. They can find their future hires. They can connect with the people they will hire in the future, and they can also gain insight into the people that will be their workforce 20 years down the road. So, now our great developer team put together a tech stack, and we have a fully functioning back end, but I want to show you just some of what we've created on our website. So you land here as a student, and you see opportunities right down below. You can see, oh, here's a project for a design process that a student is looking, or a company is needing help with. Then, right here you can see I'm a student or I'm a mentor, or a business, and you can click one of those. For example, if you're a mentor, this is what you'll see. You'll say, here are the opportunities I've posted, and then from a student perspective, you'll see here, you can see pending applications or previous experiences, and you can build up your portfolio with more and more and more experiences. So that's what we've created. Now, is this a valid idea? Well, on the parents and the student side, it's definitely there. We interviewed people, 85% of respondents, they were all parents of high schoolers, said that they would pay for this service. And then from the business side, we've already got 4 interested organizations just in one day. So these 4 organizations have said, yes, they're interested in hosting and mentoring high school students in their companies. Next, one of them was Ian Kitajima from Oceanit, and he said that if you can show value, I will champion your project. He's very excited about this. Moving on, we have a large market. That's not important. We're going to go to the next slide. I want to get to this part, the pricing. So for every opportunity, the parents or the family will pay $89, right? Now, this is less than the cost of 2 hours of tutoring. Tutoring is often around $50 an hour. But they're getting hours of learning, perhaps on the scale of 10, 20, 30 hours for the price of less than 2 hours of traditional tutoring experience. And now, this is our phased launch idea. So in Honolulu, we looked at, to find these sort of estimates of what the potential market is, we looked at the numbers of students entering college here, and we also looked at the numbers of companies that have internship programs already geared specifically towards students. And then we put those 2 numbers together and we thought, how many could we get? And we found in Honolulu, we could start with $634,000 in revenue, and then scale to the Bay Area and to the 55 biggest cities in the country. So that's our plan. And then lastly, I want to show you we have an incredible team. We got a big team of 10. They worked very hard over the weekend, and I think together, all of us, from the developers to the designers, the business entrepreneurs, they got together and they said, we really put our heads together on that Friday night. We said, you know, education is this problem everyone's trying to crack, right? But we can't solve it in the same way that created the problem in the first place. What we're doing is not saying, oh, let's change the curriculum, or let's buy new textbooks, or create a different way of doing things. No. We're saying students need to get out of the classroom and into the real world. So, thank you very much.
Well, I would hire you. But I wouldn't hire most kids who are in high school with no experience whatsoever and no idea what they want. And I'm wondering about the way that you calculated your market opportunity, because it seems to me that most of those jobs are probably, or those internship opportunities are aimed at college students. And so I'm wondering what happens to those numbers when you rule out all the ones that say high school degree required. What happens to the business model? I mean, how many internships are actually out there besides, working in Baskin-Robbins for the high school student?
Good question. And the answer is that there aren't those internship programs or opportunities right now. I think the idea behind it is that right now people think that, oh, they're high school students, they don't know what they're doing. And that's right. Most high schoolers are lazy. And to tell you the truth, before I started doing these internships, I was lazy myself. So I know how it is. But I think what we have to realize is that high school students, if they're given something that they are interested in, they will pursue it. Like, probably much better than even adults, I would argue. Because they have a passion for something, and especially most students, I feel fortunate, but most students are trapped inside a school, where they have to do lots of work that does not interest them. And so to have, maybe 2 hours a day where they get to do something they're very interested in the workplace, that is going to excite them, I believe. So.
All right, great presentation. I mean, if it's not this business, you're going to kill it in something in life with that. You're outstanding. But we are talking about this business, and so you mentioned that in the Hawaiian Islands, there's 634,000 in revenue, and dividing that by 89 comes up with a little over 7,000 different opportunities out there. So can you speak to just the local market only?
Okay. So, for example, in Hawaii right now we have approximately 30,000 high school students. Okay, so 30,000 high school students. You said 7,000 opportunities, right? So, I think what we're expecting, or what we would hope for, is that you'd have a small group of students having those experiences, and then you'd have every single one of them perhaps doing on the scale of hopefully 1, 2, 3, 4 opportunities, because this is not the type of thing where you pay once and you've got it and the experience is over. Someone who's tried it once is going to want to do it more than someone who hasn't tried it. So that I think we're counting on not so many, because I don't think most families will buy into this necessarily right from the beginning. They're going to need to see the traction first. They're going to need to see that this is a model of success. But for those people that, if we get just a few people, but we get them having lots of experiences and opportunities, then I think it'll work out.
So my follow-up question to that is, I think it's great that you're attacking high school students, but is there any reason that you're not also attacking college students that also need this experience in a really tough competitive world coming up?
So I think the reason for the high school students is just for focus in the beginning, and it's something that, like you said, that there's not really opportunities for high school internships right now. But I would hope that if this starts to change people's mindset of what success is, that success is not a test score, but success is real world experience and broadening your perspective. I think once people see that, maybe people will, have a gap year before they start college and do this full time, maybe. So I think it'll start to creep in and take over college territory the more that people see it growing from high school on upwards.
Liam, just to echo everything that you've heard so far, fantastic presentation, great job. I also liked how you incorporated a lot of the feedback that we gave you just a few hours ago, so congratulations on doing that. To do it in such a short period of time and do it as well as you did, and that's saying something. So at Sultan Ventures, we're extremely big on education. If you ask anyone, that's one of our pillars. And so these types of mentorship opportunities are absolutely something that we champion. I do want to ask you a question that we asked before. So who do you think that you're going to target first?
Okay, so I'm glad that we had that test or practice pitch before then. So who are the customers we're going to target first? Because this has two different sides. You have the students and the families on one side, and then the businesses and the organizations and the mentors on the other side. So judging by the traction we were able to get in one day, getting those 4 businesses and organizations interested, I think that what we're going to do is go for the businesses first. Go door to door, have meetings with businesses and say, we want to get you on this platform, and try to get a business in every single field. And then, because the businesses are the scarcity, right? There are lots of students, but the businesses are the resource that we're offering. And then once we have that, then we can open it up to students and families and say, any field of interest that you or your child may have, we have it on here. So I think that's our plan.
All right, I think that's why I do this, and I think that's why Brian does this, and I think that's why we are all involved in something like Startup Weekend. Nice job. So we're going to take the judges, go offline, talk through this all. Brian's going to walk you through some things. We'll reconvene and award some teams in about a half hour.